Hi guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I'm so excited to film this for you today. First of all, I freaking miss you guys. I haven't sat down to film a video in like a year. I don't even know. Life has been really crazy for me. Very fast life update. I moved to Los Angeles. I vlogged the whole thing, but who knows when that'll come out. I live in LA now. I work in TV. Lots of crazy changes have happened to me in 2022. But yeah, if you guys are in California or in the LA area and you've ever wanted to meet me or hang out, please let me know. I would love to. I'm so excited to be filming this video today. I'm going to be talking about 7 distinct differences between Iran and the United States. And I'm going to give you guys my opinions and my experiences and everything on all of them. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, please keep watching. So the first difference we're going to talk about is food. So obviously food is a huge part of every culture. Every culture has their staple foods and the things that remind you of that culture. In Iran, the traditional food is so good. I feel like some countries aren't necessarily known for food. Iran is one of them that is known for food. Kebabs, we have stews, we have all sorts of different meats cooked in different ways. And then the more modern kinds of food too in Iran, like pizza and burgers and stuff, and chicken wings, all that stuff is so freaking good. The best fries and like chicken tenders I've ever had are in Iran because they're so crispy and just perfect. And the quality of the food is better too because the actual food that they use is healthier and cleaner and more organic and all of those things. I think most things are made within Iran, so everything is coming from close to you. So the food in Iran is magnificent, amazing. Oh, and the drinks, obviously not alcoholic drinks, but like their mocktails and the different drinks they have at coffee shops and stuff are incredible. So good, so beautifully presented too. Like the food and the drinks are always so beautifully presented, so unique. You'll find all sorts of different combinations. But yeah, Iran food wise, definitely the winner for me in this category. Now let's talk about America food. America is also very much known for their food. I mean, I feel like most tourists come here to eat. And I know for me, traveling within the United States, I love to go to different places and try their food. It's really interesting how in every region here, they have different food. They have different cultural, foods. Cultural? Can you call that? For example, in the South, they love barbecue, fried stuff, like bread. New York is known for pizza. The West Coast is known for being a little bit healthier, having more healthy options. So in the United States, all over the place, you have different staple foods. And I will say in the United States, you have more diverse options for food. Like in Iran, you're not gonna find Thai food or stuff like that. And if you do find it, it's not great. But in the United States, you can find everything. I can find Iranian pizza here. I can find anything because, people come from all over the place and they want to represent their cultures. So we have a lot of different cultural representation in food. But the actual ingredients used are not as healthy, not as organic, not as good quality because the FDA will let you eat anything essentially. So America still has good food, but it's definitely more unhealthy. It's definitely higher in cholesterols, oils, fats and stuff, and it's definitely not as good quality. And I feel like in Iran, anywhere you go, the food is good or pretty good, but here it's definitely hit or miss. You'll go somewhere and be like, the fuck was that? Food or slop or what was that? So that's the food category. Next, I want to talk about your social life and the going out scene. So when it comes to Iran, obviously it's an Islamic nation. There aren't bars and clubs and stuff to go out. But in general, the social scene in Iran is really fun. I'm not going to say more fun than the United States, but that depends on who you are. In Iran, if you're going out with friends and stuff, it's usually going to be a private party, sometimes in a like beautiful garden outdoors, sometimes in a beautiful apartment or a beautiful home. And then there's tons and tons of restaurants and coffee shops and street places that are open until 2 a.m. So here in the United States, essentially everywhere except for New York City will shut down at 8 or 9 p.m. Boop! Everybody is asleep. In Iran, 11 p.m. is when people actually go out and like start doing things. So that's really fun. The nightlife there is so much more fun. It's so alive at night. Everybody's out, everybody's up doing fun stuff, walking around, hanging out with family, hanging out with friends. It seems safer somehow. Like, I feel like being out until 6 a.m. in Iran is way safer than in the United States because you're in public places, you're in crowded places, you're with your friends, you're with your family, like, you know what I mean? It's not just like sketchy and scary, and it's really fun. There's lots of restaurants that have music and you can dance, and like there's so many places. There's just so much to do, and a lot of the time at night you'll find people in parks like smoking hookah, like really fun stuff. Like in the evenings you'll go on a hike with your friends up a mountain and find a little private spot and like just have fun there, do your little thing. So the social life and the going out life in Iran is really, really fun. The only thing it's lacking is like a bar, which is okay, like I don't need that. Now the social and going out life in America is a little bit different. It's a little bit more shallow. Like I feel like we'll get into this with a different section, but it's definitely a little bit more shallow, a little bit more for looks and pictures, and like it's much more expensive too. So expensive to go out and have fun in the United States, especially like depending on where you are. I just moved to LA. Like it's impossible to go out and not spend $200. It's just impossible. It sucks, but it's impossible. And then you end up not even like having as much fun, and everything here closes at like 8 or 9 except for like bars and restaurants and stuff that are open a little bit later. So there's really no option other than going to a bar for nighttime, which is a little bit annoying. I do wish there was more options, more places to go, more like an alive scene at night here, but at night here it's like, okay, stay home or go to like a bar or a restaurant where other people are because it's dangerous. Whereas in Iran, I feel like night is when everything wakes up and is alive and fun. So definitely different vibes, and depending on who you are will depend on your preference. But there's still drinking in Iran. I'm not gonna, like, just because there's not bars and clubs, like these people go to these places and drink and stuff. So it's still a very similar experience. You're just with people you love rather than random people, which is amazing. The third difference I want to talk about is clothes and makeup. Let's start with Iran. So in Iran, obviously you have to have a hijab and a manto on to cover yourself as a woman. But that means nothing because you can still be really, really expressive with the manto you're wearing and the rusari. Like, obviously it sucks that you can't just wear whatever you want and just like be free. But that does not mean that there's not style. Like, the Iranian people are stylish. And when it comes to makeup, you will not catch a girly out at a grocery store anywhere without makeup on. It's just social norm. You have to have makeup on, always look good, shaved arms because you can always see the arms, you know, outfit looking cute, shoes good, like everywhere you go. Bumming in Iran is not a thing. Whenever I go to Iran, I wear makeup every single day. In the US, like, I put this on today for the first time in months to talk to you. So it's just like much more looking put together. So, and you know, it's good or bad. And it's also kind of nice because you don't have to fix your hair or like shave your legs every day. It's just like, you know, you still look cute, you make sure you're matching and everything, and there's so much like cute style and street style, and the makeup's really important and all of that, but you're just covered. Whereas in the United States, clothes and makeup is all over the board. It's very, very personal. I will say though, in general, people are definitely more bummy here. You'll see a lot more sweatpants, a lot more relaxed, like chill vibes here than in Iran. A lot of like big t-shirts, baggy shorts, people in America, a lot of people don't care. But again, it's all over the board. Some people care a lot. Some people wake up and get their makeup done every day, or some people do not leave the house without looking a certain way. But I will say that it's much more relaxed. Here in the United States, it's all over the place. Some people are super glam, some people aren't, some people are somewhere in between. The next difference that I want to talk about between Iran and the United States is work. So in Iran, traditionally, work is a lot more relaxed. People actually take time off in the middle of the day to go home from work and school, to go home, eat, take a little nap, and then go back. So it's a much more relaxed environment. It's much easier to like be with your family and stuff like that. But there's a huge shift happening in work life because of COVID, first of all. And second of all, the economy in Iran, it's definitely not relaxed anymore because people need money like never before, and it's harder to find work. So that the economy situation definitely puts a bigger stress on the job life. But traditionally, it is a much more relaxed environment than the United States. In the United States, you are taught to work until you die. And it's kind of frustrating. The traditional like hard worker here is somebody who's like super stressed, constantly working, constantly crazy. It's just annoying, and I think it's a little bit unhealthy. But again, huge shift in the work life happening because of COVID here. The economy situation is definitely better in the United States. The economy here is really crap too, and definitely financial stress is a huge problem in the United States. Like everybody is just constantly stressed about money. And work environments are honestly a lot of the times really toxic, really stressful. It's common for work to be stressful. It's common for you to not like your job if you're in the United States. And that just sucks. I really think that sucks. I really hope that changes. COVID is changing that a little bit because working from home is becoming way more normal, and there's definitely people that will not go back to working in an office, will always seek out work from home jobs, and there's definitely more working from home jobs, and I think that's really amazing for people personally, for their families, for their lives, just being able to like work while you clean up around the house, do your laundry, cook your dinner, like be with your family, hang out with your kids. If you're a caretaker of anybody, like it's revolutionary. So I'm really happy that working from home is so much more normal now, and I do think that will change work life in America, but in general, very stressful. And yeah, people here suck at saving money and everything, so people usually work until they die. Not fun. Don't be like that. Also, this is kind of like a side note. I think it's wonderful to love your job. I think it's possible to love your job, and I think if your job is killing you, then change it. Never feel like you have to stay somewhere just because you've been there for so long, or because finances or whatever. I know it's stressful, but seriously, like once you quit and move on and look for something that's more aligned to you ethically and who you are and everything, it'll change your life. I'm just letting you know because that's what I'm going through. Now let's talk about education in both places. So in Iran, education is much more intense. There's a much more emphasis on education. And once you finish high school, you have to take this test that essentially gives you a score. And if you have a certain score, you can go for a certain degree, if that makes sense. So you have to have a really high score to become a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or anything prestigious. If you have a lower score, you can do like architecture or economics, whatever. So it's very stressful, and basically kids are raised their whole educational life stressing about this test, and once it comes time for this test, like all they do is study for it, and then a lot of the times even the smartest kids won't get that high range that they are hoping for, so it's really depressing, and that's why a lot of really smart people will leave Iran to get the education that they want and that they deserve, and then so that they can get a job that's worth that education. So it's a much more intense and stressful school experience, and obviously it's segregated as well. I think after kindergarten, I think up until kindergarten they're mixed, so like 1 or 2 years they're mixed, and then it's a segregated thing, so girls' school, boys' school, which has its good and bads, I guess. You become really, really close to certain people in that environment because you're with them forever and you have the similar experience. But also it sucks to not have that normal socialization of girl and boy since childhood. And I think that growing up, when Iranian people become teenagers, they definitely have secret relationships, scandalous relationships, stuff like that, because, you know, they weren't taught to normally speak to boys. So it becomes like a under the table thing. In the United States, however, school is much, let's say, easier. School can be intense here if your parents are intense on education, or your guardians, or if you really have a certain goal for yourself. Or it can be easy. It can be a breeze. Like, it's all over the place. School is also much more fun here. There's so much emphasis on fun in the United States. Lots of, like, I don't know, parties, ice cream, and, you know, there's a lot of fun days. Lots of, like, fun classes and stuff. There's way more emphasis on the social scene. Not necessarily from teachers or anything, but just from students. School is a very social event. Going to see your friends, talk to them, like mess around. There's sports, there's all sorts of extracurricular activities here. There are in Iran too, but I think there's just a much more emphasis on, I don't know, it's more part of your like social life. Again, education, it's really up to you. Like, some kids take really easy classes, just coast. Some people just get C's and D's and don't care. Like, it really depends on who's raising you and how much you personally care because of usually who's raising you. Some kids just, you know, it's their ambition to go to Harvard or whatever, get out of their situation or whatever, and they lean on education. And so it can be intense and really hard, or it can be easy. So lots of range there. Now let's talk about dating. So specifically in Iran, dating is a much more intense experience. It's a very 0 to 100. Like, you know, you start dating and then a couple days later you're like, I love you, and you're constantly talking, and it's a super like love-based. Iranian couples are always like talking to each other on the phone, always like keeping up with each other. Not that American couples don't, but it's different. I don't know. Like, in Iran, you want to be in love and you really want that connection, so that's how you go about it, and it's just very intense and everything. And then the breakups are intense. There's a much more lasting impact of these relationships. They're much more memorable, I feel like. They shape your life a lot more because it's a lot less normal, and especially when you're younger, you can't just like go out and see the person that you want to see. Like, it's like secretive, and it's like, you know, I don't know, it has that like mystery element, and it's just really intense, like meeting in random places in the middle of the night, or them coming to see you at your house and you have to be like super sneaky. You know, it's a movie when you're dating in Iran. And then it's really common too for people to have like, not even like their first relationship in Iran will be the person that they marry, or they'll have 1 or 2 relationships and then get married. Whereas in America, a good little transition there, in the United States, dating is much more fluid. Like, everybody has a different opinion about it and what they want and how they are. Not everybody is looking for love. Not everybody's looking for long-term commitment. Some people are just looking to have fun, meet people, do whatever. It makes it harder sometimes, but it's also like, it's nice to have options, I guess. I don't know. But it does make it harder. It makes it harder to find people that match up with what you want, because everybody wants something different. It's a much less wholesome experience. There's a lot more like trust breaking, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. Dating in the US is a mess. That's the best way to put it. It is. That was a good rhyme too. It is just like, until you find that person, you know, I feel like you have to go through just a lot of just exhaustion. But yeah, dating in the United States is too much. And the last category I want to talk about is family and friends. So in Iran, family and friends are much closer. Specifically, your family, like in Iran, you're very, very close, very comfortable with your family, like always at each other's houses, always joking and laughing, and it's just a very fluid, very comfortable community situation. Like, I feel like human beings are supposed to live in a community and have a bunch of help and have a bunch of people around them. And in Iran, you definitely have that. You have your mother, your mother-in-law, you have everybody, like, is just friends, or tries to be, at least, to each other's faces. Like, it's a much closer and more comfortable and just easy situation, I would say. With friendships, too, it's always like way deeper. I feel like if you make a friend in Iran, it's a forever friend. You're never ever gonna not have that person in your life. Whereas in the United States, it's like, you know, you have friends in certain times of your life and then you move on and you never talk to them again. But in Iran, it's very deep, very comfortable, very much a forever thing. And with your family, it's just fun, and just vacations and everything is always amazing. And if it's not, if you don't vibe with like a certain part of your family, you just don't see them, whatever. In the United States, when it comes to family, I feel like it's hit or miss. I've seen some really close families, but a lot of the time it's very awkward. You don't really know your family like that. You don't talk to your cousins or your whatever, your distant family like that at all. You don't know what's going on in their lives. This is just in general, by the way. Like, I know it's very different for everybody. It's generally more disconnected and hit or miss. Again, sometimes I've seen some really strong, amazing families, and sometimes it's just like uncomfortable. And friendships too. A lot of the time it's way shallower. It's way more like, I just want to go out with this person, or I just want to like have this person or use this person for this certain time. Whereas in Iran or in other places, it's like, this person, I'm going to be there for them forever. And you can find those friendships here too. It's just way harder. It's way harder to trust people and trust that they like you and that they actually want to be around you. Because a lot of times people will say something to your face like, oh my god, let's hang out, let's do this. And then, you never hear from them again, or they never follow up or whatever. So hit or miss here with the friendships, but you can definitely find some great friends. My camera died again. I'm just going to finish this on my phone. I was just finishing off by saying that, yeah, in the United States, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's shallow, sometimes it's not. My own best friend we met here and we love each other. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for the wait. I'm sorry it's been so long. I know it doesn't matter. I know people don't even really watch YouTube anymore, but you know, it's something I really love, and there's so many fucking videos that I have that you would love. My sister's wedding, videos of Iran, videos of me moving here, like so much fun stuff that I just need to get off my lazy ass. I'm not actually lazy, I'm just insanely busy. But yeah, I hope to get more time to edit those for you. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!